So let's talk about it, man. The Way Home.
Right.
What a concept. First of all, like I joke with everybody because when I tell them that I'm watching it and I say it's on Hallmark, they're like, wait, what? No, that's like CW, right? Or something like that. I'm like,
Right.
listen, it's Hallmark, I'm telling you, and it's not a romantic comedy and they don't all end up together and they don't do, I'm like, so it was just an amazing, I found it was a really amazing concept. It's kind of like a supernatural or witch type story, but it's also a crime drama. You're trying to figure out where the missing boy is and what's going on there. You got a family drama, what's going on with the divorce and all this kind of stuff, and it's like all perfectly molded together in this story. And I'm like, this is brilliant. This is a really well crafted idea that was implemented really well. And we talk about what it was like going in there, because I always feel like it's like, oh, you're going to be the young version of this established character kind of a thing. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, do I play off this guy's performance as the guy? Do I make it my own? Do you kind of talk about that? Like when you found out what the role was going to be, how you auditioned for it, and then how you approached it. Because it's a really, I got to be honest with you, when I first saw you, I'm like, this guy's a douche. And I think that was the goal, though. I mean, I think everybody was like, that's what we want him to think. But how is he like this? How's he like Brady grown up nice guy? Like, I don't understand. Right. You know, where'd we go? So talk about that.
It's very interesting because Al plays the older version, and
right,
he's great. But the difference actually kind of allowed for the room for exploration.
Yes, yeah.
I could be realistically, because I didn't have to live up to or be a version of Al, because I really am a different person back then, and he becomes a different person. So we didn't get to have those chats where, Al, tell me what you're doing so I can, try to put that in my performance. If anything, the more absurd and the more strange I was in that world, the more effect Al's niceness would have in the present or the future for me. So that was an interesting, it kind of happened in a way that made it easy for me too, and for Al, I hope, because then you're not consistently worried about tying those ends. I could just be as douchey as possible. And Al has got to be as nice as possible. And then the extreme ends just really work well, right?
Right.
So the approach was fairly simple. The auditioning process was also very simple, except the first time I auditioned, I had a beard. And, they were like, wait, do that again.
You're supposed to be 15. Like, you look 30. What's going on?
So that was funny. I remember my agent calling me, and they were like, do you still have that tape? And I was like, oh, do you still remember that tape? I was like, I do. They want you to do it again, but without a beard. And they don't tell you, like my agent, they don't tell me until it's like a closed, deal.
Right.
Obviously, because, or I would just be like hoping for things to happen.
Right.
So in the moment, I was like, oh, this means that's probably a good thing, unless that's, and so we retaped it. It actually was different. I tried to make everything, every take. I try to do it. I don't know if it comes across. We'll have to talk to the director about that. But I try to do it differently every time, and I think it was different, but still in the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how that's how I ended up on the set, and then we started doing it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That is awesome too, because I feel like, especially with kind of like, because it's kind of a period piece too, traveling back in time and being in like the mid 90s, I think that's kind of where it is. To be able to like, because I know you're a very fashionable guy, so you are able to play with a little bit of fashion choices, and to be able to you kind of collaborate on that, even though right now I feel like, things from the 90s and the 80s, they always come back and you're able to rock it now. But yeah, so that's always very interesting too. And I feel like, the cast that you played with, because I always think about it as imagination and it's just one big thing to have fun with. The cast that you were able to communicate and double with was also as good as you, because just the dynamic that everybody had on set, it seemed to have seeped through the TV screens to where it felt like you were back in high school going through all of this drama, all of this love, all of this different things. And I think that's what was so special about your character and your portrayal. You were able to identify these certain things about this character and being able to portray it to where us as audience members are able to feel that. So that's always like, I feel like one of the best things you can do as an actor,
Oh my
right?
God. I'm glad it came across that way. That's awesome. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I want to add to that because I basically said, came out and called you a douche. but but by the end of it, and this is a testament to your acting skills and how well you were able to make the connection with the audience, because by the end of it, you're seeing this basically arrogant, cocky guy, but he's really on the inside insecure. And he's noticing that the best friend is getting the attention that he wants. Hey, what's that handhold? Why she go to him when she's in trouble, kind of a thing? And you start to feel bad for you. You start to understand that attitude is really a wall, and that you're really insecure, and you're not as vain as you come across. You're actually feeling things, and you're recognizing things, and maybe you're a little, and I like that the whole, I was jealous of you, when the adults have that conversation, kind of a thing. And you did a really good job of making somebody that's not very likable. You were kind of rooting for the guy in the end, and you kind of see the transition into why he becomes a good guy down the line. And that's a huge testament to your acting, because I think when you can take a character that initially the audience is like, what an asshole, we don't want this guy, why did she even marry him? And then you're rooting for him at the end, and you're kind of like, that's huge and hard to do. So the way that you were able to communicate that and effectively get that to the audience, where, like Logan said, we connect with that, because there's, who hasn't been out there where they're totally in love with a girl and the girl is just totally wants somebody else, might be with you, but in your heart she wants somebody else. We've all been there. That's high school, man. So to be able to get there and have the audience connect and root for you like that, it was superb, man. It really was.
Thank you. I highly appreciate it. And, I think writing plays a huge role when it comes to something like that. And because for me, as an actor, the biggest focus is, working with the cast. And in the moment, like, even when they yell cut, if I see Alex and David, the other two, I see them talking too much. I'm like, yo, why are you guys talking about me? Come on, guys, like, let me be a part of this conversation. I know what the hell's going on.
That's fantastic. So you're a method actor? No. That's great, though. I love that, man. That's fantastic.
It's kind of hard to not feel that way when you're around actors who are fully committed. David, Alex, Sadie, they're all fully locked in. So it's actually, I can't even imagine not feeling the way I felt while we were filming, or even offset, because it just seeps in. We're having great conversations. We're just hanging out the whole time. So we're building that chemistry. So I'm just glad that came across that way. It's actively just focusing on just making sure the writing comes across, and the writing just takes care of everything else, which is so great for the show. And that's why we have a season 2, and it just gets